Could it be? Yes. It's heavy. It's shiny. It's real gold. It's got a sharp point at one end. It's the Dagger of Amon Ra. You pick it up and place it in your purse. Boy, the alcohol fumes sure are strong in here. You hear nothing of interest.
Oh, good evening, Miss Ball.
Hi, Dr. Miklos. I'm sorry if I startled you.
Oh, that's okay. I enjoy being startled. And please, call me Olympia.
Okay, Olympia. You enjoy being startled?
It keeps the blood flowing. I love it. I was just trying to find Daisy, my ferret. She usually has the run of the museum, but it's time for me to feed her.
And you think she might be in here?
Well, she's been spending a lot of time in here lately for some reason. She probably likes the unusual smells. Who knows?
Can I help you look for her?
Thanks, but I'm sure I can find her. Would you mind leaving me for a while so she'll come out of hiding?
Certainly. Sorry to disturb you.
Fräulein Ball, this laboratory is dangerous and verboten to the public. You will leave now. I will not warn you again, Fräulein. Leave this laboratory immediately.
Now, Dr. Miklos, what was it you wanted?
Well, I saw you admiring the swords on some of the armor displays. So, I thought you might want to see this beautiful specimen of Mr. Heimlich's.
Thank you, I suppose. It is quite beautiful. Was it forged in Toledo, Spain?
Yes, it was. Wool, Mr. Heimlich keeps it very sharp, as you can see. It's... Stop!
What is it, woman?
Mr. Heimlich has been having trouble with the mounting of that sword, Mr. Najir. If you were to touch it, it would more than likely fall off the wall and kill you.
Oh, my. How can I ever thank you, Dr. Miklos? You seem to have saved my life.
Let me see. Do you have any scars or tattoos, Mr. Najir?
Well, yes, I suppose I do. Just the foolish thing that I had done in my impulsive youth.
Ah, please let me see it, Mr. Najir. It would make me so very happy.
Oh, Dr. Miklos, this is very embarrassing. I'd rather not.
Are you forgetting that I just saved you from almost certain beheading, Mr. Najir?
No. Very well, I will show you. Just a minute, let me take off my shoes.
Your shoes! How exciting!
Here they are. Look quickly. What if someone were to come in?
Ah, how beautiful. Egyptian sun symbols, yes?
Yes, please, may I put my shoes back on now?
Oh, if you must. I've never seen tattoos on the bottom of the feet before, Mr. Najir. Tell me, did it hurt very much? Did you bleed?
Yes.
Ah.
You don't hear anything. This door is locked. Unlike the gift shop daggers, this one does not have "Made in Pittsburgh" stamped into the blade. Closer examination reveals these words on the base of the lantern. Ruhmkorff's coil consists of a coil of copper wire insulated by a silk covering surrounded by another coil of fine insulated wire in which a momentary current is induced when a current is passed through the inner coil from a voltaic battery charged by a hand crank. When the apparatus is in action, the gas becomes luminous, producing a white and continued light. The lantern will burn beneath the deepest waters and safely among flammable gases. M. Ruhmkorff, an able and learned chemist, discovered the induction coil. In 1864 he obtained the great French prize for this ingenious application of electricity. Not only that, but he was a great dancer too. The bone is fossil. There's a bit of rust on the wire cutters, as well as an odd bit of beige coat fabric. It's used. Looks like broken glass. It feels like broken glass. You don't hear anything. A typical light. With careful use of the dagger, you managed to pry the skeleton key off the Bosch painting without any serious damage. A paper cutter with a red blade. The red stain on the paper cutter blade could be red ink or blood. Perhaps the last person to use it had an accident? You hear nothing of interest. Dr. Carrington's head holds no clues that you can discover, except for the somewhat pained expression on his face. 2 letters written in blood on the desktop. It's dripping blood. Porcupine quills, which appear to have caused Dr. Carrington's demise as they passed through his body, creating multiple perforations in many of his vital organs. It's the pale left hand of Carrington's corpse. The fingers are showing signs of lividity. It's the pale right hand of Carrington's corpse. The fingers are showing signs of lividity. The fingernails hold no clues, but the right index finger has blood on the end of it, although there are no cuts evident on the hand. Neither the fingernails nor the fingers hold any clues. Carrington drooled a bit when he died, and his hair could have used a good wash to get all the grease out of it. You presume the dripping blood belongs to Carrington, since the porcupine was stuffed. The letters C and P are carefully written in blood on the desk, as if they were put there by the dying President Carrington. You see two letters written in blood, CP. The clock appears to have been broken at exactly 12:04 a.m. The glass on the clock face appears to have been smashed during a struggle. Whether it was a struggle to wind the clock or a struggle for Carrington's life, it's hard to say for certain. The note is written in a man's handwriting, probably belonging to Dr. Carrington. Countess and Ziggy at 1 a.m. Medieval armor display. Rigor mortis has not yet begun to set in, allowing you to move the fingers freely. Rigor mortis. You presume there's blood on the porcupine quills. From their position in his body, you infer that the blood belongs to Dr. Carrington. Judging by the buttons on the intercom, this appears to be the master unit which can send and receive. It's the intercom. Don't touch it. Rigor mortis has not yet begun to set in, allowing the head to move slightly on the neck when you poke at it. It's the button is current. You hear only steps. You touch. When you press the button, you touch the When you press the button, all you hear is static. You touch the intercom unit, completely missing the buttons, and the whole point apparently. You touch.
Is this doing anything? Is it hooked up? Can anyone hear me? These newfangled inventions are such a caution. Can anyone hear me? Murderer, if you can hear me, give yourself up. You haven't got a chance. Stop these senseless killings. Hello? This is Laura Bow. Hello? These
Look. A large format illustrated version of Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. There's a police file hidden in the book. A handwritten note attached to the police file reads, "Remember our deal." You pick it up and place it in your purse. By reading a few lines from the book, you gather that the theme of this book is that man pays for his crimes against men by suffering for those crimes. It's amazing how much meaning you can get from a few well-chosen words. By By touching the pages of the open book, you feel a momentary connection with the true meaning that the author was trying to impart to you as he cast his words down the river of time to finally wash up against the shores of your eyeballs. You don't hear anything.
Well, well. Good evening, Countess.
What are you doing here?
I just happened to be hiding behind the tapestry.
You're lying.
How could you tell?
Nobody just happens to hide behind a museum tapestry.
And nobody just walks around inside a museum late at night with paintings under their arms.
Paintings? Oh, you mean these paintings? I just found them laying around on the floor, and I picked them up so no one would step on them.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Are you accusing me of something, you silly girl?
What do you think?
I think you're a rude girl who needs to learn some manners. The nerve going around accusing people of stealing paintings.
Did I say anything about you stealing them?
Well, of course you did. Don't try to trick me, girl. I've got more tricks than you have brain cells.
One thing I have to ask myself is, why did you bring those paintings to a meeting with Dr. Carrington this time of night?
How did you know I was meeting Dr. Carrington?
I found a note beside his body.
His body? You talk about him like he was dead.
Yes, he is. Dead as a doorknob. You didn't know about it?
You're trying to trick me again. Dr. Carrington is alive and well and working in his office.
Well, you're right about him being in his office, but he's quite dead, I assure you.
Oh, my God!
And you seem to be a logical murder suspect.
Wait a second. You're not going to pin this one on me. I didn't have anything to do with it. Why would I want to kill him? We've got a perfectly good art burglary scheme going.
Art burglary?
I think I said too much.
If you're trying to convince me that you're not the murderer, you're not doing a very good job of it.
What do I care what you think anyway? You're not a cop.
But I am a reporter, and I could write about you in the newspaper. Of course, your reputation would be ruined, and the police would get very interested in you. But you're tough, so I'm sure you could handle it.
Look, it was just a little deal I worked out with Dr. Carrington. An art forger duplicates the paintings on the wall of the gallery. Then we hang them up in place of the real ones, which we sell to private collectors.
Didn't you think someone would catch on after a while?
Are you kidding? That's the beauty of the plan. When we had replaced all the paintings, we were going to slash them and make it look like someone vandalized the real paintings. No one would ever think we'd go to the trouble of forging paintings just to destroy them. And Carrington is here to see that no one gets too nosy.
You mean he was here?
I swear I didn't have anything to do with his death. He was my cash cow. I brought him over from Europe just for this reason. Now that's it. I'm not saying any more about it. I don't feel like talking about that now.
An empty chest from the 15th century. Although the carvings on the exterior are crude, cut into the wood by someone with little talent or ability for wood carving, the chest now resides in a museum, simply because it's old. Kind of makes you stop and think, doesn't it? The carvings on the chest depict gnomes leaping through shrubbery. You admire the wood pulp patterns in the paper. You read a police report on the criminal career of one Watney Little, conman extraordinaire. The file contains an amazing list of offences, mostly fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, and various degrees of larceny. Glancing at the top of the page, you noticed that the investigations were conducted by Scotland Yard. You also notice that the last entry describes Little's recent escape from Dartmoor prison. Clipped to the outside of the folder is a small handwritten note that reads simply, "Remember our deal." Apparently this file was provided in exchange for somebody's silence or service. A shiny key, shaped like a skeleton.
I bore rather easily.
You're in the This is one. You pick it up and place it in your purse. You don't hear anything.
Oh, Wolfie, I'm so glad you agreed to meet me here.
You know I can't resist you, my little stuffed grape.
Oh, Wolf, you are so strong. Lift me up on the desk, yes?
Anything you say, my strudel. You know I'd do anything for you. Lie, steal, murder, especially murder.
Wolfie, love, you give me the chills. Please, scare me some more.
Oh, all right. If it would please you.
More than anything, who else will die tonight?
The Countess? She is always walking around like she owns the place. Museum security must be maintained. That woman must die.
The Countess? Why should she be killed? Didn't she go home after the party?
Someone lets the Countess in and out of the building during the late hours. If I ever catch her, she will pay the consequences.
Maybe I'll be lucky this time. Maybe I could discover her body.
Yeah, perhaps it could be arranged.
That's one of the things I love about you, Wolfie. You have a wonderful sense of humor.
Danke. And so do you, my strudel. So do you.
You don't hear anything. This door. You don't hear anything. A full bottle of Dr. Moribund's guaranteed snake oil. It's a sack of plaster, sometimes used for making molds. It's Olympia's ferret, Daisy.
Hello, little ferret.
It's the door to the Mammalogy Lab's cold storage locker. A slab of meat which smells ripe, veins of rancid fat forming abscesses that ooze copious amounts of pus run through the decomposed cut of beef. Yum, just like Mom used to make. You pick it up and place it in your purse. You pick it up and place it in your purse. This trunk is locked.
Oh!
A skeleton lies in the trunk, its bones picked clean by the domestic beetles. They've efficiently removed every last shred of flesh, making the skeleton nearly impossible to identify. It appears to be a gold pocket watch. It appears... A close look reveals an inscription on the watch. To Dr. Archibald Carrington III for your years of dedicated service, many thanks from your staff at the British Museum. A close look reveals an inscription on... You pick it up and place it in your purse. A skeleton lies in the trunk, its bones picked. You hear muffled voices coming through the door to Ernie's office.
Interesting. I'd never noticed that before.
You never noticed what, my love?
You have a tattoo of the Eiffel Tower on the inside of your left eye.
Ah, you are doing this to distract me, no? But I am worried about you, my Ernie. You are so big and so strong. But this ice pick fellow, he is a dangerous one, no?
Yeah, he's dangerous. But I'll pay him his dough. Ernie Leach always pays his debts.
Maybe you can do some more fencing for this Big Al. He pays well.
Yeah, Big Al's a good customer. But there's only so much fencing I can do for one guy.
This ice pick might try to make the example of you before you can pay him off. He keeps leaving these threatening messages.
Don't worry, baby. Icepick knows he won't get his dough if he kills me. Maybe I can get into a hot poker game down at the Harlem Swinger and win enough money to pay him off.
No, no, no. The gambling is what got you into this mess, my Ernie.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
But I've got bigger problems tonight. I saw something I wasn't supposed to see.
What?
You're better off if I don't tell you about it. Now, what's this on the top of your Eiffel Tower tattoo?
I think you know what it is, my Ernie. You've seen it before.
And I always enjoy seeing it again, baby.
Ah, you American men are so charming.
You don't hear anything. A full bottle of Dr. Moribund's guaranteed snake oil. You don't hear anything. It's too far away for you to get a good look at it, but it's definitely cheese, and it definitely stinks. You pick it up and place it in your purse. The intercom crackles and you hear,
Wolfie, it's Olympia. If you can hear me, meet me in the armor room at 2 o'clock. You promised to show me your private scars, remember? See you there, Wolfcakes.
This bookshelf. These are. This bookshelf. For some reason, the spine on this book has been turned round to face the wall, hiding the title. This book is a collection of poetry by Lord Byron. Apparently Heimlich had it turned on the bookshelf so that the spine with the title faced the wall. Perhaps he was embarrassed to have a poetry book on his shelf? The poetry book falls open to a poem, She Walks in Beauty, written by Lord Byron. The page is marked by a black garter with a note pinned to it. A lacy black garter with the name Yvette stitched into it. There is also a note attached. You pick it up and place it in your purse. The note attached to the garter reads, "You can have the other garter and much more if you meet me at 3 a.m. in the preservation lab." The handwriting is female. A lacy black garter with the name Yvette stitched into it. There is also a note attached. A wedge of the finest Limburger cheese, the ultimate in cheesiness. A closer look reveals a bit of mold on the cheese. A variety of shiny metals, 2 Two of them, with packs of dogs carrying birds in their mouths, are marked with the word Reichsjagdgebrauchshundverband. Others appear to be merit badges for the German youth equivalent of the Boy Scouts.
Wolfie, your facial scars are so wonderful. How did you get them?
Fencing, my Strudel. As a young man, I would fence with my Heidelberg friends. We would stop our opponent's saber just before it went through our faces, which would make the scars you see now.
Ah, that is very interesting. You did not use masks to protect your faces?
Nein, that would have been considered unmanly.
You'll have to show me how to do that sometime.
There are many things I can show you, my Strudel.
Perhaps we should go somewhere less public, Wolfie.
Oh yeah, good idea. Particularly since there's that annoying reporter wandering around the museum. That is not something I would have allowed if I was running things here.
Give it time, Wolfie. Perhaps you will be running things here someday, if I have anything to say about it.
Oh? What can you do?
There are ways, but come, let us speak of these things in more privacy. But we have already discussed. Snake repellent oil. I have no idea why someone would want to repel such charming little creatures. Of course, we have hordes of those lovely cobras running around loose in the basement, so the oil might keep you from stepping on one and harming it.
The fabric of the shirt appears to be clinging somewhat to Ernie's chest. The hairs are bristled and clearly animal in origin, with a faint smell of alcohol. You pick it up and place it in your purse. Ernie's eyes are bulging in a peculiar way, leading you to believe he either choked, drowned, or was frightened to death. Ernie's mouth gapes, though whether this occurred in his death throes or simply as a result of the corpse's position is unclear. Ernie's head lolls back limply. Ernie's head Ernie's neck is stretched backwards, tilting his head back at an extreme angle. Ernie's arm is draped over a tusk in a casual pose. If he weren't dead, he'd look like an ad for menswear. Ernie's pants appear to be clinging somewhat to his legs. Ernie's shoes are intact, yet strangely dark and damp-looking. You press on one of Ernie's shoes and see a bit of moisture oozing from the dark, spongy leather. As soon as you remove your finger, the moisture immediately seeps back into the leather. The pants feel dank and wet, but the moisture evaporates quickly from your fingers. You consider doing the traditional thing and closing Ernie's eyes, but decide that perhaps it's better not to tamper with his body, which, though this may seem cold, is evidence of murder. You gingerly place your fingers into Ernie's mouth. Cold and clammy hardly begins to describe the feeling. There's a sickening squishing sound as you probe the moist tissues. The heavy twilled fabric of the suspenders is rough and stretched taut over Ernie's unmoving chest. The fabric also feels slightly moist. The pants feel dank and wet. Due to rigor mortis, Ernie's left arm is slightly stiff. Hence the expression stiff, referring to a corpse. Ernie's right arm is stiffening in its outstretched position. Despite your closest examination, you find nothing unusual about Ernie's outstretched right arm. A minute inspection of Ernie's left arm reveals nothing suspicious. The leather of Ernie's shoes are soaked through and through. The scent is an overpowering mixture of sweat, shoe polish, and alcohol. The pants are intact, but the smell emanating from them is noticeable. It's as if he took a swim in bathtub gin. You look carefully for bruises or contusions around the neck, but you find nothing. There is little to see in Ernie's mouth besides the usual teeth, tongue, hard and soft palates, and uvula. But there does seem to be an unusual amount of mucosa foam in the cheeks and throat, usually indicative of death by drowning. There's also a strange trickle of clear fluid. With obvious distaste, you sniff around the area of his mouth. The odor is one of pure alcohol. You look closely at Ernie's eyes, but find little except a few broken blood vessels. You examine Ernie's head carefully, searching for contusions, bruises, or other evidence of foul play. You see little, but you do notice a faint odor, not immediately identifiable. From here you can see the mastodon's molars. The mastodon skull appears as normal as a prehistoric skeleton can be. The teeth show no evidence of cavities or other orthodontic disorders.
No, I certainly don't know anyone like that. I wish I did. It's unfortunate that Ernie died, but his body is nicely displayed on that mastodon, don't you think? Makes quite a nice exhibit, actually.
Ach, You are smelling like the brewery, mein Capitan. Either you've been drinking, or you've been eating too many of those grapes.
Sure and begorra. A man needs a little nip from his flask now and then, doesn't he?
Personally, I do not require the drinking of the alcohol. It would impair my mental and physical skills.
Ernie Leach has been murdered.
What was that, lass?
Ernie is dead.
So, you've finally come to us to confess, is that it?
Confess? No, I'm reporting a murder.
And you was the first one to find the body again?
Well, I guess so.
Quite a coincidence, Fräulein. I think we should be interrogating you to learn the truth. I've had enough of your lies!
Calm down, Heimlich. If there's any interrogating to be done, I'll be the one who does it. Now then, lass, where did you find the body?
The mastodon room. He's hanging from some mastodon tusks.
Ach, he's probably just sleeping on the job.
No, I'm sure he's dead.
Well, I'll go take a look at him then. If I need to talk to you, I'll find you later.